Hello, my name is Maria Blisubova and you're at my channel Fertilizers Jazz. Here we talk about events, trends, technologies in the world of fertilizers and agriculture. Please subscribe to the channel, put like to this video, and let's jazz! Today I am very happy to host again a super cool guest, Sylvia Traganida, Senior Ammonia Editor at ICIS. This is already a traditional quarterly meeting with Sylvia, so I'm delighted to welcome you and thank you very much for joining me today.
Hello, Maria. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me again. I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you. So we met here 3 months ago and discussed ammonia market situation at that time and your expectations for Q3. And I must tell you that all your forecasts came true. The demand in India indeed picked up. And recently we saw a couple of tenders closed there. Also, European demand during the season was evident, maybe not that much as we expected, but still. But of course, life is full of surprises, and we experienced such unexpected events like supply curtailments from Egypt, the most severe one, and in Trinidad also in the past couple of months. And because of that, during Q3, we saw this increasing difference in the market sentiment between east of Suez and west of Suez. So my first question to you will be, how do you think this supply situation will evolve in the east and in the west in Q4, end of Q3 and Q4?
Yeah, I think the situation has improved a little bit. So like you said, we had natural gas supply issues in Egypt, and that has affected mostly urea, not that much ammonia. So that's done now, and there's not any issues in Egypt at the moment. So that's good. And also with Trinidad, that was a big hit to the market. The low production rates, even lower than usual, have hit the market, and we've seen that in the US and in Europe, where product goes from Trinidad and Morocco as well. It seems that the situation in Trinidad has improved a little bit, but we're still at around 20 to 25% of natural gas curtailments. So it's still not back to the usual production rates. And if you had asked me last week about the situation in the east, I would have said that the availability is comfortable. But lately, it seems that availability in Asia is becoming a little bit more tight for Q4. Whether that's because most of the producers from Indonesia or Malaysia or Saudi are focusing on their contract shipments, or whether because there's not much spot demand, that all contributes to tight availability in the market.
So do you think this trend will continue into Q4, tightening of availability from both west and east?
I'm more optimistic for the West. We will see more demand, more availability. Obviously, another issue that we didn't expect was also the Canadian rail strike that is ongoing and hopefully will be resolved soon. Maybe sooner rather than later. But yeah, for Q4, I'm expecting to see tight availability in Asia and the AG. I mean, demand's a whole different question, but yeah, availability, I think, will remain tight in Q4.
I see. As you already mentioned, the demand from key geographical markets picked up. And how do you see the demand developing in Q4? And also not only for the fertilizer segment, but also for other segments, other industrial users.
Yeah, I will stick with my Q3 prediction. So I'm going to say that India will continue to play a very important role again. So I've been talking to a lot of people this week, and we're expecting India demand for ammonia to pick up, especially for phosphates production, because at the moment India needs phosphates, and yeah, they can't import everything. They also need to produce locally. So yeah, India will definitely be the big news in Q4. But also I'm expecting to see a little more demand from Europe as well. So now that the summer is almost over, we're expecting to see a little more demand from the nitrates markets. So ammonium nitrate, from the urea market in Europe. So that will mean that Europe needs to buy ammonia as well. So I'm a bit more optimistic about Europe in Q4. And also, I'm not that optimistic about the industrial users. So in Asia, for months, we've been saying there's not that much demand from the acrylonitrile and caprolactam markets, which obviously has had an effect on the ammonia markets. So I'm expecting this to be the case for the rest of the year. And also, there's holidays coming up in China. We're seeing not much demand from the industrial buyers. There's shutdowns and maintenances scheduled and unscheduled for industrial users. So that is definitely not a good sign for the ammonia market.
I see, indeed. Also, in recent months, global security risks that we have, unfortunately, haven't dissolved anywhere. But vice versa, I would say that they have even increased. And recently, we saw a hike in the natural gas prices in Europe because of those additional security risks, to the level higher than 13 and even more dollars per MMBTU. This level indicates that ammonia cost very roughly for European producers will be somewhere at the level around $500 per metric ton. Obviously, this is a very, very high cost level, and that puts European producers in a not very good competitive situation versus their competitors. So how do you think this cost situation will evolve? And if gas price stays at such high levels, how it might influence ammonia demand? Will it, or maybe it will not that much?
Well, I mean, you're right. We are keeping an eye on the natural gas prices in Europe, for sure. I mean, mainly in Europe, but elsewhere in the world. It will definitely have an effect on the ammonia market and also the ammonia production costs. So far, the natural gas prices have been going up and up, but lately they seem to have stabilized and, dare I say, even decreased a bit. So we're seeing some ammonia producers in Europe slowly coming back on stream. I mean, there's nothing too exciting because they're keeping their production rates low. It will also depend on demand from urea and ammonium nitrate. But yeah, these natural gas issues and worries will continue for buyers of ammonia, but also for producers of ammonia in Europe. So I think for the rest of the year, as we get into the autumn and the winter here in Europe, I think we will probably see more, maybe more stable prices for natural gas. So that will definitely have a positive effect on ammonia. I mean, ammonia prices in Europe is a whole different discussion. But yeah, natural gas seems to be stabilizing.
Yeah, hopefully, indeed, we will see that it will be stabilized, because it's really puts everyone on the edge of competitiveness, which is very unpredictable for European producers, of course. And do you think there might be some maybe other more long-term implications from such a high gas price level in Europe? For example, we already saw that European markets attract LNG volumes from the US that previously were going to the premium Asian markets. But now they're partially diverted to Europe because of this high gas price level. Is there a possibility that we will see some Middle East ammonia cargoes arriving to the European market, for example, in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good point, actually. And lately we have been seeing this. We have been seeing some demand in Europe for ammonia. We have been seeing products coming from the usual sources, so North Africa. But because of the tight availability from Trinidad and the US, we have seen prices go up in Europe, and yeah, it seems that Europe was firming a little bit, but I think for the foreseeable, maybe short term, maybe we will see prices of ammonia in Europe softening. Also, another factor that we need to take into account is that there's buying resistance in the Arab Gulf, and FOB Asia prices as well are also stable or maybe dropping a bit. So that could be also another avenue for those producers maybe to come into Europe, because they will be more affordable than maybe US prices or Trinidad prices. I think things will also depend on the new Tampa price as well for September. So if it goes up, then maybe it will not be affordable to come to Europe, and maybe European buyers will need to look into other avenues and other origins. Also, another thing that we have to look into is any product coming out of Russia, from the Taman hub. So maybe we will see more product coming out in Q4. So Europe will be an obvious outlet for these tons.
Yeah, right. Indeed. Let's see how it develops. Have you seen actually any development in this Taman project? Because we discussed 3 months ago that it should have been started, but in fact we haven't seen volumes really coming out. So do you know about the status of this project right now?
Yeah, I think last time we said maybe Q2 or Q3 we will see some tons coming out of Taman, but I'm not very optimistic. I think it will probably be Q4. But you know how it is with any new project, any new hub, there's always issues. So maybe we will see them more realistically coming on stream and exporting product in Q4 rather than in Q3.
Yeah, perhaps we'll come back to that again in 3 months. And also, what we discussed 3 months ago is the situation in the Red Sea, which obviously significantly influences ammonia flows, trade flows. And during these past couple of months, situation there was not solved either. So the route is still closed for the vast majority of the vessels, and specifically for ammonia vessels. So looks like it's a kind of new normality, unfortunately. How do you see ammonia market adapting to that?
I think, 3 months ago it was like the new thing. I think now the ammonia, market participants are slowly getting used to it. They're adapting to it. So, of course, the issue is that, shipping shipping a cargo, to Europe, for instance, will take longer now through the Cape of Good Hope. It will be more expensive. It'll be, more freight costs. So at the moment, I think market participants have adapted to this new situation. They're aware of it. They're used to it. And I think, obviously, the longer it continues, the worse it's going to be, in terms of, costs. But the ammonia market is always adaptable. They're looking for new avenues if they cannot bring any product from Saudi, for instance, or from the Arab Gulf. And I think we will see maybe cargoes from different origins coming into Europe or Morocco, indeed. And I also think, more importantly, the effect that this has had on the market is also psychological, because of course it's not only the Red Sea, it's the whole region. So if things flare up in Iran or in Egypt, or that region, it will definitely have an effect on the market, both financial but also psychological, especially when people need cargoes promptly. So it's definitely something that we're keeping an eye on, and it's definitely something that I'm sure we will talk about in the next 3 months.
Yeah, exactly. I really very hope that in 3 months the situation will change in the positive way and we will not have to discuss this security risks anymore. And coming back to the new projects, maybe you can share some information if you have about developments that are happening, or maybe new announcements that happen during these 3 months, also including green and blue projects.
Yeah, at the moment, so the couple of projects that we're keeping an eye on is definitely the Taman hub that we spoke about. Also the Gulf Coast ammonia plant in the US. So that I know I've been talking about this for a while. It was supposed to come on stream earlier this year, but it hasn't. So that has also created an effect on the market. So now I'm expecting either Q3 or maybe Q4 for the Gulf Coast ammonia. Also, in terms of new plants, we haven't seen any blue or green new plants being announced at the moment. We're seeing some. We're always seeing some demand and some demand for new information for blue and green ammonia, because obviously the energy transition is something that it's in everyone's mind. But yeah, in terms of new plants, we're not seeing anything new coming on stream for sure. I mean, the next 2 years, 3 years, there's definitely new plants everywhere. From the US to Australia. Japan and Asia. But yeah, it's definitely something that is here to stay. Blue and green ammonia and low carbon as well.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you very much. As always, it was a very helpful and insightful discussion. And I'm very glad that our quarterly talks started to be kind of a tradition, and I would like this tradition to continue. So I wish you all the best in the next quarter and hope to see you here at the same place in Fertilizers Jazz in a quarter. So all the best to
you so much,
ICIS team.
Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you for your time. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you to everyone listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. As usually, I will leave all credentials of Sylvia and ICIS in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel, put like to this video, push the bell in order not to miss any updates, and see you soon.